Harrison and Han.
Yeah.
Um,
What
yeah,
up?
another
Yeah.
another day, another dollar.
Mm.
So I know last episode we were talking about just introducing what Harrison and Han is, and a little backstory story on our family. But today more so covering who Joshua is and who I am, and then we'll go on to our topic of discussion. So, Josh, take it away.
You gotta ask me questions. I don't know. I can't just talk about myself. I'm not the
You
kind of guy.
can, you can just talk about yourself. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Joshua. What do you want to say? How old I am and stuff like that? Does that matter? Does that even
No,
matter?
I mean it doesn't really matter. You can if you like.
Okay.
So,
Joshua
I mean,
Harrison.
backstory, what you did. You went to school. You got your degree in what? Like your thing, your
Oh,
hobbies.
I see
Like
the
who are
LinkedIn.
you?
The
Who are
LinkedIn.
you?
First, I am a Christian.
There you go. Hey,
um, Heterosexual male. I am married. Uh,
wait a minute.
um, you said, "Who am I?" Like if you had, because I've done this. I did this exercise where it's like five things, and then you name five things that define you for the most part.
Okay. Oh, hey,
Then as
go right
you go
ahead.
exercise, you start to take away two, take away one, and then take away another one, and then it says that last thing that's something that's it's a non-negotiable, something you just have to stand on. So that's where I was at with it. Okay, uh, yeah, like I said, I'm married. That's going on 2 years. Other than that, uh,
Unexpected.
I have a bachelor's degree in sociology. It would
Okay.
have been psychology, but I wanted to graduate earlier. I was getting a little old up there, so I was like, roll out. uh, Other than that, yeah, just living life, man. This came about from years of conversation, just thinking Jamie's like, oh, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast, and like, you know what I mean? And
Wow. Wow.
yeah, and I was in agreement. So I can't say that it was just one sided, but she actually like is the driving force behind this. So yeah, it's all good, and we're here now. Anything else you want to know, you can ask me. I'm just saying I can go deeper if you would like.
Really. I should have brought my dang iPad so I can get the information, but I'll just put it in the video as far as for like our email. We have an email address if you like to email questions. If you want to suggested topics. Um, I also put the link as far as for our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and our YouTube page. So you can get in contact with us on those
Yeah,
avenues.
subscribe now before it's a Patreon page, and you'll be paying for these. Hopefully, we're looking for
Yeah.
guests on here in the near future. After we
Yeah,
build.
in the near future. In the near
Yeah,
future, like, hey, just to tell you, well, I'll be going up there soon at the end of this month, so we'll be having like a face-to-face kind of podcast, so you can see us actually in the same space.
yeah,
Um,
that'll be
well, yeah,
great.
no, that's cool, great, that's good. You forgot to tell them about Nala and Kofi.
I have two dogs. I have an English bulldog and a Bernedoodle. So yeah, two dogs.
I burned the doodle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I'm Jamie, um, mother of two,
Mm.
veteran, slightly sane. I enjoy walks on the beach,
Oh,
a
wow.
nice weight, a nice weight session at the gym, intellectual conversations, and a nice, great, intense debate.
Yeah, what's that thing people be sapiosexual or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sapiosexual,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
and stop
but
that.
yeah, really, that's me in a gist. So yeah, I don't have too much about me.
Oh, you wanted
Oh
me
yeah,
to
and
end?
I have a pit bull, a female pit bull. Outside
Mhm.
of that, but yeah. Anyway, how was your day? Let's start by that.
My day was fine. Slept a little, got to sleep in a little bit. Went to the gym.
Yeah.
Uh, Me and Donna went to the gym.
Mm,
That went on like a walk.
okay.
Uh, Had a talk with my mentor, one of my
Okay.
mentors, because he had got a call for a reference check,
Mm-hmm.
a background check for the job that I'm
Yeah.
going. And yeah, we had the conversation for about 30 minutes. It was a good talk.
Yeah, that's good.
Uh, that it was just me and Donald talking about life,
Yeah,
Christ, weekend type stuff. Simple stuff. And we're just talking about the passage and just
yeah.
sermon from Sunday at church and.
And what was that? Since we already on topic, what was the passage in the sermon for church on Sunday? Let the people know, okay? Let the people know.
We'll dig deeper into that later. But no, it was just one part of it. We were talking about basically about the emotional response that people have and how people let uh, their emotions drive them or kind of
Mm-hmm.
walk instead of them walking their emotions, having their emotions intact.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just talking about how it was a story of Rahab, Joshua,
Mm-hmm.
Battle of Jericho, wall, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Rahab and how she was more than a prostitute and how she actually was a key player and was mentioned in the
Okay.
role. So yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it was a conversation about that. We were just talking about other things in life and stuff like that.
Okay.
Good. So great conversation. Came home. What did I do? Came home, cleaned up, chilled. Yeah, I'm watching the Warriors game right now. But yeah,
No.
this
Okay.
is right now. So
A
let's
little
get. Yeah,
distracted.
not at all. I'm in the kitchen, so I can hear the game.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
Yeah.
how was your day?
Okay. It was okay. Usual Monday, busy as always. People getting on my nerves. Everybody's urgency or emergency becomes my emergency, and I don't like that, especially on a Monday. So it just people get very complacent and want you to figure out their problems instead of like trying to troubleshoot their own stuff. And then when you try to walk them through it, it's like you really didn't need me. You could have easily figured out what was going on. But other than that, it was just busy. It was just busy. Every Monday is usually busy because you're catching up from emails and stuff like that from the weekend. So
Hey,
um,
they see the cape and they expect to get saved. You walk around with a cape
I'm
on, so
tired. I'm tired of being Batman. I'm tired of being Superman. I'm just tired. I'm tired.
yeah. But yeah, that's something that you choose to do.
I don't really want to say that I choose to do it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't have like I don't really have a choice right now to
you
not.
have a
I mean,
choice.
of course, I have a choice, but when it comes to like sustaining my livelihood and sustaining certain things about the responsibilities that I've acquired, children, a house, and all this other stuff, I don't have time to
Sure.
like
But
you know.
I'm speaking about professionally and you just simply having expectations of your team. That
Yeah.
is, you don't always have to be in front of as far as just like or take on the blunt of the blow. Like if somebody's
Hmm.
like needs to handle something, let them handle it. And if they're not
Hmm.
handling it fast enough, that's when I feel like. But I think that you have the job has expectations, but Jamie has expectations. So it's just like when the the pasta's boiling over when it's about to start boiling over the
Hmm.
pot,
Hmm.
you always catch it right when it gets halfway.
Hmm.
Maybe if you sat back and let it like start to see the bubbles up top a little bit, but you don't rock like
Hmm.
that. See that exactly.
I
So
can't. I work in corporate. I can't.
I get
So I don't. I'm not trying to go see HR and have to fill out no paperwork or fill out no. I don't want nothing
to
nothing
fire
like that. So,
something like that, or to write somebody up,
huh?
or to fire somebody.
Or no, to write somebody for me has to be written up for me letting that boil over.
I don't think that it'll come to that part though. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. You
No, it
just
can. You
that
got some people that are very quick to go whine to HR about stuff because again, these people have been working especially like 20, 30, 40 years, so they get very complacent and they're used to a certain type of being treated. So certain people you just got to handle a certain way. Of course I'm very observant, but you know it just ain't that serious for me, so
hmm
I just do what I can.
yeah.
But enough of that. My day was busy. I'm glad Monday's over, so the rest of the week can kind of coast. I guess we can get into the first our discussion that we're going to talk about, which is how do you handle emotions? How do you
See,
handle what is your change?
perfect. No, perfect segue. Like, how do you? It's just how do you handle change, unexpected change? Like, it's just like stuff like that. And I just wanted to speak on that just because, you're in a new transition. I'm in a transition phase and just my career and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, um, when things happen unexpectedly, it's just how do you handle them? You either like it can your world come crashing down, or your world
Yeah.
can it can honestly birth a new world for the most part, in a sense. So, and I have just been taking it as a lesson to evaluate how the world came crashing down and what part I
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
if any, and
Mhm.
um, just making sure that this, as moving forward, that it's a learning situation rather than a liability in the
It,
future.
it's funny how you describe it because I'm like the total opposite now because of my military background, I'm so used to sudden changes,
Hmm.
and that has been my life for so long. So now that I'm older, I don't like a lot of change. I like
Hmm.
consistency, and I hate when things change. I find myself getting very agitated when something switches up because I've had to deal with that so long, and I created like this easy coping mechanism to like respond well and adjust and to the new environment, to the new phase, to the new stage. And now I'm just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like I want consistency. I want predictability. I want Groundhog Day every day.
No,
So
I
I'm
thought I wanted.
fine.
I thought I wanted that, and I thought, but the whole mundane
Wow.
routine situation is just very. Uh, it wears on me at times, and
Hmm.
excuse me, I was accepting of it just because I thought like that was going to be the norm. Man,
Hmm.
boring job. but it's just like when that job does not become, it just becomes so. I don't know. I don't even know the word. Just wasn't it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
even though I would have stayed in it for a long time, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the contract was up or until something happened, I'm
Yeah.
happy that things happened the way they did because it kind of kickstarted a fire under me that was much needed.
Yeah.
Because now I actually see things totally different, and I like think about the situation I was in, and it was kind of crappy, and I'm just like, I'm happy I'm not there
Yeah. Yeah.
because it would have been something that, and actually a job that is very, uh, it's forever evolving. So you
Yeah.
shoot at,
Yeah.
but when you have a job like that, it's kind of hard to like pinpoint and be good at something because you have to consistently be good at everything as the day goes on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in local government, it's like you are appeasing to 10 people a
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? Like it's 10 different opinions, and but then there's ultimately one person who's your supervisor. But then if your supervisor doesn't feel away, the agenda can ultimately change, and then you're the scapegoat because it's just weird. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
like, this is my second term in local government. I'm just like, never again.
You don't want to do it.
No, 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 no. I don't care. I don't care if they ask me to. Like, I don't even want to do the district supervisors thing. No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm totally turned off from that now.
Oh.
100%. Because
Okay.
I have a saying that I always say. It's like when you work at, like, how when you work at the factory, you know how the chocolate's made.
Yeah.
So I'm never eat chocolate again. like, like, it's like I don't want to ever eat chocolate again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
working there, it's just like I'm good. I don't, you start to find out the real recipe behind the chocolate, and
Yeah.
you're like, it ain't even healthy for you.
I mean, I can see that. I guess I think we just like on two different spectrums. So I'm
No,
just
for
ready
sure.
for consistency and stuff like that, and
But
being
your job
stay put.
that though, I
Huh?
feel your job creates that though because you have
Yeah,
a
no, my job does create that, but I'm just saying in general, outside of work, I'm just saying in life, like
got
life changes really give me anxiety now. Like I've grown, as older as I've gotten older, having to make decisions. Before it was easier, and like I had a conversation with somebody about when when you're growing up and you being a teenager And you be like, man, I can't wait to be an adult to make those decisions. And it feels good and you feel
Mm,
exhilarated to be like, man, I made an adult decision. I stood 10 toes down. I I find myself like dragging my feet now on certain things. Like, I don't want to make this decision. I'm tired of doing this.
hmm
Somebody put me back in the child's place. I don't want to do this anymore.
Do you
It
do you
just seems like a lot.
do you feel that because you are doing it like by yourself?
I honestly think, and it's like now we're like going into this realm because I was in this mindset all day. Like, I'm tired of being my own cheerleader. I've
hmm
reached that point. I'm tired of being my own cheerleader. I'm tired of having to show up for myself. It'd be great to know what it feels like again to have somebody cheering for me, to
hmm
have somebody in my corner to say like, "Yo, you doing a good job."
Pat you
And,
on the butt. Like,
like, man, it's I don't. It would be good to do that. I'm just tired. I've reached that point where it's just like you show up for yourself every day, and it's just like, okay, cool, 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 cool. But sometimes you get to the point where you get um desensitized about it. Like, okay, now it's just the standard. Like,
hmm
I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like I have to do this. Now it's not fun anymore. Now it's a bore, and now it's hectic, and now it's stressful, and now it's anxious. It brings me anxiety, and now it's all these other things, and it's just sometimes you get tired of showing up for yourself. And I'm just like, damn, like it'd be great, if I had, sometimes I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
you're doing a
but
great job.
I that, but I
I
get it.
get I get that, but you have your own life. And of course that comes from, when we talk and we do all that stuff, but like you have your own organism and your
Yeah,
own stuff,
you get all that except for the slap.
and it is not. So I'm just, huh?
I said you get all that from me except for the slap on the butt. You know what I mean? but I get
Ew.
what you're saying though. But you gotta understand that we had these conversations 10 million times about the dating pool and just your
I
expectations, and then
My
just
expectations
no,
are
no, no, no.
fine.
Listen. The train has gone chicka 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 chicka. We're here right now. So how about we just park it?
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. If we want to talk about that and we want to get into the dating realm, I've already made my mind up. And of course, as of today, March the
I
10th of 2000,
mean, no.
2025, I've already planned out what my standard is for myself, or what my boundaries are for myself. If I am not in a relationship by 47,
Cat
all
lady.
bets are off, because I at least want to be in something by 47. So by 50, we've done that little, honeymoon phase, figured out each other, blah 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 blah. Who are you? All that other stuff. By 50, cool. Because I look at
People
relationships.
living longer nowadays.
They are not living longer. That's the problem. And that's where I'm coming from. Like, I look at a relationship outside of everything that it is. It's also an investment. I would love to enjoy my investment. People are not taking care of themselves as they used to. People are not even living past 60 anymore. A
Mm.
lot of them aren't. So it's just like, damn, I really, realistically, you don't really have a lot of time with anybody. So it's just like, by 47, if I'm not in something and we're not learning each other and working through each other by 50 and solidifying something seriously, hopefully by that time, if I do meet somebody, they already have the mind frame of being in something serious. And not like, I'm just trying to see where it's about to go. Sir, exit stage left. I don't time for that. We're in our late 40s. Have a good
Hey,
day.
hey, he still might
Have a
have. You
good day.
know what I'm
Good
saying?
day, sir.
He still might have options.
No,
You
forget
know what
that. At that point, if it's not, then I'll just say I will. I'll stay with myself. It ain't even that serious. By that time, it's cool. It's not even. I will not. Because again, you giving somebody access to yourself, and like we were talking about before, them wounds and that hurt. It take longer to heal when you get older. When you get hurt, I'm not trying to go through that. I'm not trying to have nobody use and abuse the me being vulnerable with them, especially as I get older, and they messing around and playing around. It's just like, no, like we shouldn't even be at that stage where you should be at that stage where you recognize what somebody is giving you as far as for their vulnerability and themselves. And if you still at that stage of playing around, like go get a younger person with that. Like you gonna have me end up on first 48.
I'm saying? I always thought of it
Don't
like this.
leave me alone.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Leave me alone.
yeah, but I I know how it could be though. You know what I mean? Because if I wasn't in my situation, I would probably be one of them dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Horrible, just
Like,
horrible.
being completely honest, because like you got nowadays, just like the simple gratification is like there for
Of
everything.
course, I hate the
But
fact that it's a microwavable dating. Everybody's so quick. I need microwavable results. I need microwavable feelings, microwavable gratification. It's just like, bro, no. What happened to the slow cooker?
but
What
that
happened? Does that matter?
that has happened with access though. I have had this conversation with my boys several million times about just
Mm-hmm.
the accessibility that people have nowadays, which creates the options, which creates the the shortened tension span, like the short tension span,
Yeah,
or the short buy-in, the small buy-in, because it's just like, hey, I'm Josh from San Francisco. I'm not even
yeah,
gonna use this is Sarah from Santa Rosa, small town Santa Rosa. She gets on
yeah,
Instagram, Sarah from the Bay, and somebody
yeah,
from New York has seen a picture of her. Somebody from Texas has seen a picture of her. When
yeah,
normally nobody was talking to her but Jimmy from the gas station, and that was her love.
yeah.
Now, this dude in New York, who's a cop, he likes her and he flew her out. She's been on the plane for the first time. Now Jimmy ain't even her type no more, and it's created a false reality to these women and people in general that have like this instant gratification. People actually have their notifications on their phone for likes, so they seeing who liking they pictures as soon as they post them. If that isn't diabolical and the most narcissistic thing you can do,
Well, I'm saying that's fine, but I'm saying like as far as for like if we're talking about older people and
no, no,
dating,
no.
so
But this is not an age thing. It's
hmm
a culture thing, and I feel like
hmm
anybody who falls into that culture, I just broke a glass,
mm, mm.
broke the glass everywhere. It's all good
Okay,
though.
Mace.
But yeah. So I just feel it's a culture thing, and if you fall into that culture, you are subject to that lifestyle, like you know what I mean, and those
Hmm.
rules and stuff like that. But it's just weird because I don't know, man. It does suck, and I do pray that you find somebody who is your cup of tea. Um, but it'll happen when it happens. And I know that sounds very cliche, but like we always talk, you ain't hurting for nothing right now. Like you
I'm
are
not.
you are the catch.
I'm not, and I understand that, but I'm just saying I'm just speaking in terms of just in general. Like, cool, yeah. Eventually, I will meet my match and meet my partner. But
You want to do
you
that before
know,
you meet your maker.
hmm?
You want to do that before you meet your maker, though.
I mean, I would love to. I would love to do that if God willing, if let me at least get one more go around, be great. But yeah, I'm just speaking in general. Like, of course, I would love to meet somebody, and of course, my person is out there. But again, like my appetite has changed for the person that I want, and then my standards have changed for that. And of course, it's not like I don't need that person to be you know uh, up there one top 1%. It's not. I don't like that's not my thing.
So,
So what?
for your listeners,
For your
what is,
listeners,
what is your type? What is your I don't even say standards. So, what is your basement? What is your requirements as far as just like bare minimum for somebody to even be appeasing to you know you like
be appeasing.
yeah, just saying.
Honestly,
Like,
honestly, I'm a very simple person. And this is like anybody who does know me. I'm very simple. I'm not
they don't, they don't. So
the
let's
people
go.
who do. The people who do.
We're
So
talking.
I'm
To
I'm big on I'm big on transparency at this stage in my life. I'm big on
what
transparency
level of transparency?
as far as for me being
Like,
able to know what's going on and you being open with me. I
hey,
shouldn't
Jamie,
have to
in my 20s.
say it again.
Hey, Jamie, I used to murder people in my 20s.
No, I'm talking about as far as for what we're doing. If we're
Guy,
in something, I
guy,
I need transparency. I don't need to wonder about anything. And also, you know, wonder if, my position that I've acquired, cool, I made it to be your partner or, whatever it is. I don't want to have to feel like I have to audition for that every day. Like I already made I made the position. Why do I have to feel like you have to audition, for this person's love or this person's attention? Like, I'm really big on communication now. I want to talk about things. Let's have a conversation.
Let's
Let's
park it right.
let's work.
Let's park it right there.
Let's park
When,
it.
when you said you don't have to audition for a
Yeah.
person, but you do have to remain the person who they fell in love with.
So you saying remain the person that they fell in love with? No,
Or
nobody
just
ever remains the
no, I
person
don't
that
mean
they fell in
actually
love with.
remain, but you must remain attractive. Of a person like the person who dresses, don't get with a person. Then when you get with them, stop dressing. Or if he likes you because
Yeah,
he said
no, I get that. There's certain
so.
attributes about a person that you like when you first initially like them, of course.
For
But my thing is communicate that. A lot of people just think as you're dating,
sure.
they don't never say these things. It's like, oh, and it never comes out into it's an argument.
But
Well, you used to do this, and it's just
why
like,
does it need to be? Why does something like that need to be said? Because we're going to talk about the
well, I'm
basics.
talking. It comes about being like compliments. Like, I really do like when you dress. To let the person know that you're paying attention, that you like the way that they dress. I really like when you wear your hair that way. I like when you wear that shade of
Receptive
lipstick.
are you to stuff like that?
Huh?
How receptive are you to stuff like that?
I'm
And
very receptive. I am
oh,
a patterns
going deeper.
person.
I'm going deeper. Then how submissive do you become in those situations?
So I'm very receptive because I pay attention to patterns. That's my
Part
biggest thing.
part one.
So um
Where
when
does
it
the
comes to me when it comes to being submissive, and this is like me being honest and transparent, I haven't found a situation where I felt safe enough to be submissive with a person. Again, I've always felt that I've had to constantly show up and audition for a position that I already made.
but you've made two major life transitions,
What?
marriage.
What? Understood. You see the balloons?
Yeah, that I don't
Oh,
understand. Celebration.
I
Marriage.
understand that. I understand that. But that is, I get,
So,
I get
so,
that they are big, major life transitions.
so no. I was building there. I was building there. So with
Okay.
you being married, there should be a level of submission that comes from that into that situation because this is a person who listen, that's a person who you chose to marry who's going to lead your household unless you think of marriage in a total different way than I think of marriage.
So, and that's what I'm saying. When I got married, my first time I was 25. My mind wasn't in the mind frame of thinking that way. And again, it goes back to what we saw in our parents is what
So what
marriage
did you think
was.
it was like at 25? That's why I didn't do
25,
one because
I thought it was a relationship and taking care of business. That's really what it was. I thought purely it was more so transactional. And I thought that I would experience a different side of marriage outside of what we saw our parents have, and say, okay, there's got to be this. Because, of course, you see it in movies, you see it in shows, there's got to be a different side. Or maybe I'll run into that with the person that, of course, I like, I'm love, I have kids with. We'll cultivate our own marriage and our own level of love and connection and go from there. So, of course,
mm,
I'm just going off the baseline of what I've seen in real life happen in front of me and what I've seen
what did,
play out on situations.
what did you see? Because I know we are 3 years apart
Hmm.
and you saw a different version of mom than I saw a different version of mom, and you got a different version of dad, and I got a different version of dad.
Yeah.
You have some memories where they were the same version of the parents that we had.
Yeah.
So, what did you see? Because I will speak to what
I didn't
I
I didn't I didn't see a marriage. I saw married by paper, but mom was the mom was the enforcer. She was the person who took care of everything because again, dad was on drugs. And although he was a functioning drug
was
addict and he was
drugs when you were. Do you
yeah,
remember
he
that?
was. I remember. Yes, I do remember. But he was fun. I never seen him actually do it. I just know that he was a functioning. He went to work every day. He didn't have the druggy look. He took care of himself. Still went to the gym. Did all. When he got paid, he disappeared. He was gone for a couple of days, and I remember those days
Oh
when he
wow,
would
the fire.
just, he would just, he would just
What
disappear. He
happened?
would just
Honey?
disappear.
Yeah, he disappeared. That's
He would
fireworks.
just disappear for days, and then we would see him on the street, and he would just be like, "Hey, what's up? How's everything going?" It's just like But I also saw mom go through the stressful times of that. And of course, she just happened to be resilient and push on. Because again, she has no cheerleaders. She has nobody coming to her rescue. She has nobody doing nothing for her. She has to constantly figure it out. So that's what I saw. Yes, they're married. Yes, they keep procreating.
Yeah,
So, but there wasn't a real marriage in my mind. It was just like, okay. And then as I gotten older and, he got off of drugs and stuff, of course, now they're having to really be in each other's face. And that stuff, it didn't get better, but it just got consistent as far as for like, okay, well, we've been together for 20 years now at this point, you know, we'll just make it work. So you
yeah.
never got to see that other side, the loving side, the nurturing side, the caring side.
So do you think that's what made you go through your divorce is because you didn't want just that? Because you saw consistency. You can't say you didn't see that.
But
But
it wasn't. Of course, you see, I could. It wasn't the type of consistency that would have functioned for my marriages.
got you.
It worked for theirs, and I thought that some of the attributes that I saw in theirs, I could bring into mine, but it didn't work because those people aren't my father. They don't have his mindset. They're not my mom. They don't have. They're not going to take the same stuff that my dad took from her. So
Got
just certain things that I picked up just wouldn't work in my situation. And I'm not saying like everything that about me was detrimental to my situation. I think honestly, with both my partners, like we just met at wrong time, wrong times, as far as for wrong timings in life, wrong everything was just wrong. So maybe later, if we would have been more mature and maybe been in such different places in our careers and stuff like that, I think it probably would have been a different outcome. But just certain things that I did pick up from mom and dad, now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't gonna fly. That was not going to fly at all.
hmm
So it
No,
is what it is.
I understand that. But it's just like for me, I saw the consistency, and that's the only thing that I did hold on to as far as my
Yeah.
concept of what marriage was. It was like no matter what, and that's I say this to every girl that I kind of got serious with. Like I don't believe
Yeah.
in. And it was I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I don't know if it was a kind of a way for them to be like, oh, he gonna stick around, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely was. That's my. I was like, I don't believe in divorce. I
Yeah.
didn't know why I didn't believe in divorce, but I kind of did because I never saw my parents get divorced. Even though mom threatened dad like 20 million times, like I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Remember the living room meetings? Come in the
Yeah.
living room, y'all. I'm
But
finna
still,
leave.
I mean, like, but with good reason. So it's like at one point, yeah, she cool. She's doing this, and I get it that you picked that up from that, but it also lets you see that there were no boundaries. No
uh,
boundaries were set.
there were definitely boundaries, but at the same time, there was just no. The boundaries were so one sided. That's what I saw, and
Yeah.
I've also made my own rules and my non-negotiables based off of that as well. So I have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
was based off of what I saw. So it's just
Yeah.
like and it actually for me it was very educational because I had a front row to the do's and don'ts of like the household of like marriage for the most part of
Mm-hmm.
what my idea of marriage and what I
Yeah.
thought like. But I just wanted to ask you that because I feel like for me I was like I remember dad got off drugs in third grade, so I was in the third
Mm-hmm.
grade. So it was
Mm-hmm.
just all right, like I'm still a kid, and I don't know why we're going to this building to see him, but I think
Yeah.
something's happening. So like, so
Yeah.
third, sixth grade for you for the most part. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where I was at with it, and that's why Justine has no recollection of that being on drugs. She
Of
knows
course
that
not. Yeah. She
she
knows the
knows,
story,
but
but she
she was
doesn't. She never experienced it.
in kindergarten or first grade, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
no way she could understand anything. That's why that's her champion. He's still a good guy, you know what I mean? He's my
Yeah. Yeah.
father,
Yeah. Of
but
course.
she has seen him do no wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
saying
No.
so. But what I was saying, as far as what was I talking about? We were talking about the initial topic was just change and stuff like that, and now
Yeah.
we took a hard left into relationship and expectation. So yeah, we
Yeah.
still talk about expectations. You
Yeah.
said transparency, that was one, and then you said on top of that, you spoke of
Communication.
communication. Yeah. So what's the
Yeah.
third?
Transparency, communication, and vulnerability. I'm like,
Okay.
unfortunately, from what I've seen, a lot of, and again, of course, vulnerability comes with having a safe space. I fully understand that. But I've seen a lot of men aren't very vulnerable with women in general.
What is
They're not very vulnerable with women in general. I you
what's your
very
relationship with that?
huh?
What's your relationship with vulnerability?
Um,
Do you
when
or and do you present yourself as a safe place or safe space?
of course, I think I do. I think I do. I have my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moments. Trust and believe that. But I think I've always presented myself as a safe space. In general. Um,
Are you trying to catch the water before it boils over the pot, or are you checking it when it's like halfway? You feel that it could go that
when
way.
I was younger, no, I let the shit boil over because again, I would just shut down. Like when because I'm a very easygoing person. Hey, whatever you want to do, let's do it. Let's figure this out. But when my partner doesn't communicate, I start me, myself, and Irene, and like, get on board. What's wrong? You're not saying anything. So, but now, no. Let's talk about it. What's wrong? I noticed something's wrong. Let's talk about it. Okay, you don't want to talk about it now. Let's make a time to talk about it. We do need to talk about it. Let's get it out in the open. And sometimes it can be aggressive, but I'm so used to not being told nothing and nothing changing. That that's not my standard anymore. We need to talk about it. What's going on? What's wrong? What's the solution?
That scares me.
I get that. And again,
So
that goes into my stance of never being in an environment where this stuff I don't have to do. I've never been in an environment where I don't have to show this side. This is just me in general. I've never been in an environment where it's just like, yo, be softer, be easy. You don't have to do that. It's never been that way. So I have to get in somewhere where that is not needed to even come out. That person doesn't need to come out. And I
so
think if I'm being honest and transparent, I think that is a thorn for me when it comes to dating because they already expect that to be put in check. And it's just like, no, look, if I'm being honest, I haven't been in an environment where whatever soft side you trying to see to come out,
mhm,
that has to be created. And I'm letting you know that up front.
mhm,
So you're going to see some masculinity come
mhm,
from me here and there. It's going to come out until I feel or until I'm in a situation where that person doesn't need to come out.
yeah,
That character doesn't need to show themselves. So telling me it needs to stop is not helping me.
yeah. But a different approach would definitely
I
bring a different.
understand that. I get that, and I do catch myself, and I've calmed down a lot when it comes to because I know that when I'm talking to a male. I'm not at some things I'll put my hands down, I'll do that, or I'll change my tone. But and again, I don't feel like I need to do that because that's me. That's who I am at this point. And I think when you're going into a situation, the change is supposed to happen together. Like you're
You
supposed
talk
to,
about job interview.
huh?
You talk if you're applying for a job.
Yes.
Is all this, and we need to talk about it now.
I'm very handsy when I'm talking. When I'm talking
No, no,
interview,
no. But do you need to talk about it now? Do you lead the conversation at the job interview? Because it seems like
well,
it seems when you're applying for a job, it's like
yeah,
that's what dating basically is. You're auditioning. You are auditioning. You're going to a job interview,
understood.
but you are figuring out if this is going to lead to a 90-day probation, or is this going to be like this ain't a good fit? Like, or are you going to take the job? You get what I'm saying? I think dating with intention has a big like is what you're on, but you have to find somebody who's on that same page as well. And
Yeah,
and with that being said, if it feels like you coming off like that, it's kind of strong, and it's just like, dang, like is this how it is? Like, you know what I mean? 'Cause we've had talks about just
Hmm.
like I feel you have to put yourself in your soft girl era if you want somebody to treat you like that.
Yeah, nah, I
I,
get that. It's kind of, it's because I get what you're saying, but there's only so much. It's kind of like trying to do the damage control in yourself. It's like, oh yeah, journal, do this, do that. Great, I can do all that stuff and work on myself and create this new character for myself
I just have to
until
be
I
a character.
get,
Why can't it be you, the new you? Like
because again, I have to actively try that character out with another person in a situation to see if it's going to fit.
it's like a restaurant. If it don't fit,
No,
it,
again, but this is the person that people want to see, that those people want to see they want to see that softer side. So if I'm working to be that person that I'm not naturally right now, cool, on my own without another person, yeah, I can perfect it as much as possible until I get into a situation and those moments happen and I forget the script.
so it sounds like you still have reflecting to do. It
Huh?
sounds like you still have a lot of self reflecting to do before you even step into the realm or into
No,
the dance floor.
because I do know, I do know about myself and I know how I am. I get all that, but I'm also an active believer in being in a situation to be able to tailor and catch myself. I can act out
Isn't
and
that
talk.
exhausting?
Isn't that exhausting? To what?
Yeah, having to catch yourself all the time. Because if it's not you, you're being someone inauthentic, and then that gets tiring. That's just like a
Well, I don't.
dude.
I what is I'm saying. I don't think it's being inauthentic because by myself, yes, I can be any person that I am. But when
I'm,
you're with somebody,
yeah,
I think you have to tailor the way that you are. But again, I can practice all day by myself, the person I would like to be. But actively doing that, I need to have a person to actively act that out with.
but it's a lifestyle, not just acting it out for one person, though.
I think it's more than just a lifestyle. I think it's more than just like that's not just like reading a book about having a baby until the baby shows up. They be like,
Mm,
none of this shit is in the book. None of this stuff is in the book. What am I
mm.
doing? I can read all day about being a softer person and I can do all that stuff, but
I'm
actively being able
not
to
reading.
turn that character on, that's a different situation.
I'm not talking about reading now.
I'm just saying I'm using it as a
I
scenario.
know, I get what you're saying too, though. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about actual life experience and life like situations that are like for me. Every relationship is every person that you encounter with is a relationship. It's just what type of relationship that you have. You have a relationship with your mailman. You have a relationship with the person at the grocery store. It's not an intimate relationship, but it's a relationship. So that soft girl era situation that you can put yourself in can be placed. You can do that in those situations. Talk softer to the, but
That's understandable. I totally understand it, but it's not the same as being in a situation with a partner, romantically in an intimate situation with somebody you're trying to grow with and have a life with. I can't do that with the mailman. I can't do that with the person who's checking my groceries. That's two different realms. That's
I get.
not the same.
So it seems like when intimacy gets involved, that's where the issues lie.
Or it because you're having an intimate relationship. I'm not talking about sexual intimacy.
No, I'm not either.
I'm being vulnerable with that person, and if I'm seeing that person and we're dating, we're doing it. It's not the same relationship as the person at Walmart, or it's not the same relationship as the mailman. That's not. That person is not getting that same access to me. That person is not getting that same vulnerability as that person who I'm trying to be in a situation with. So that's two different spectrums of the scale. So I'm giving them two different people, two different levels of softness that I have to give. So that's exhausting in general. When it comes to just in general, I have to actually be with a person or be around a person and be in these situations to be proactive in working on that person. I can do all the self work all damn day. But when it actually comes to actively do that with a real person, you need a real person to
But
actively be
I
able to do that.
still believe that a lot of like it's kind of like still preparing for the test though. You still have to kind of change the way you think about certain
What?
things because I feel like a lot of the soft girl stuff goes out the window with you when you get triggered. Like,
And that's what I'm saying. And those are the experiences that matter. I can always revert back to my training of what the
so
soft girl that I'm training, but
why?
I have to actively experience being triggered in that moment with somebody
But
and
why?
what my decision should be. And cool, I might fuck up the first time. You know what? I messed up. I reverted back. Whatever. But I have to learn to apply the correct stuff with this person. And that's
But
when it comes to being that transparent and that openness. Like, hey, I'm working on that, and it's going to take some time.
mhm.
So I messed up this time. Let's talk about it. Let's go from there. And if it happens again, I can be like, you know what? Cool, because we established that relationship. We've got that vulnerability. We're gaining that trust between each other. Now I have a better mind frame of just not being that person.
But who says they want to go through that with you at that point? Why
And I
not?
and I
No,
understand
no,
that
no, no, no. Listen. So why not you address your trauma and you don't have no baggage coming to the door? So when you can leave and when things don't work out, you don't feel like it's a you.
because nobody's perfect. Because they don't have shit too, and I'm gonna have shit. So that's
I
why
get that. I get
nobody's perfect. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, they don't have to experience it, and that comes with them communicating. You know what? This ain't gonna work out for me. I don't like that you have these issues. Cool. I have to accept that.
but you're an old enough adult and you know it triggers you.
Understandable. But again, if what triggers me, I'm not actively dealing with right now.
You can personally deal with it and see why it triggers you, and then you can process why it triggers you.
No, it's totally different, Joshua. It's like somebody who's afraid of being chased. I can't imagine somebody chasing me and then, okay, I've worked enough on it, and then the actual person chases me and I'm freaked out because
That's an
it's the actual real thing. But I'm
that's
saying,
an I'm talking
again, it's
about,
I can't create a fantasy and take that as
but you can't create something
it.
like that as well, saying that somebody chasing me because you're not going to get chased in a relationship. So let's talk about
I'm
realistic
saying
triggers.
the feeling. I'm talking
No,
about
let's
the
talk about
feeling of. I'm
realistic
talking about the
triggers.
feeling of it being real. The
I
feeling
get
of it being real.
But if we're talking about real feelings, we're going to talk about real scenarios. So let's talk about basically someone raising their voice hypothetically. I know that triggers you. I know that triggers you.
Not in that way. That's what I'm saying. Again, my
So if your
and
partner
I
was
and I
yelling at
guess yeah.
you, that would trigger you.
To do what?
You
To
tell me. That
to
wouldn't trigger
buck
you.
up? No, no.
That would warrant a response from you to be like. So what would trigger you in a
It,
relationship
it,
if
it
you
dep- and again, it depends. Again, if we're gonna go there, it depends on the situation. Just yelling at me is not. If we're having an argument about, it depends. Everything is can't be cookie cutter a response. So it depends on what the situation is. That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying. It can't be cookie cutter.
because
Because if you
I
yelling at me like, "Why are you take the trash out?" or you yelling at me because we having a deep discussion and it just blows up into something that's different because now it has escalated into a yelling match. Now I could probably be triggered by because you just yelling at me like, "Why you didn't take the trash out?" or "Why you didn't pick up the dry cleaning?" That's totally different.
no, I'm not. That's not yelling at you. That's bickering. I'm talking about somebody actually scolding you like a child, like or belittling
See,
you,
and,
like
and again, that's different. That's
I,
different than yelling.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about as far as like stuff. What you know what would trigger you, and you're saying that it has to be situational. But no, it's not. I know what would piss me off if I was dating this person, that person, this person. It's the same thing. I don't
No,
like dishes left out. So if someone leaves dishes all over the house, it triggers me. Like this glass, it was left there. I knocked it over. It was not supposed to be here. That is a trigger, but I had to process it. I've learned how to process it. You get what I'm saying?
but again,
Stuff like
you
that.
are living in the organism where you can process it, Joshua.
No,
Again,
no,
I get what you're saying, and I think we're going to agree to disagree on this because
that's fine.
again, you live in that organism where you can actively role play in real life with a wife. You can actively work through those triggers and those traumas with an actual person who's going to respond with their own response.
But
And
isn't
then you
that?
can tailor that and work on that. I can talk to a mirror all day long or a
But
wall all day
isn't that?
long and jump from side to side and create responses that are going to benefit and trigger or create a response that would be beneficial. It's not the same.
But wouldn't that? Isn't that what dating is though? So you can process a lot of that stuff.
Yes, but again, you want somebody to be authentic. I need an authentic response from that person. So I need to see how they respond to it as well, which is why you grow together in a relationship. I can create that cool all day, but I need their authentic, organic response to what's happening in the moment to be able to tailor it properly. I get that. I could create it all day, and I could create a scenario like, okay, cool. This feels familiar. I've acted it out. Okay, I know what to say next, and it can be totally different, totally different. So I'm saying being in stuff or being in situations where you have an actual partner and you guys go through things, that stuff is needed. It's needed. The actual raw response of a person and the actual raw response essence of a situation that is needed to actively control and tailor your triggers and work on your triggers. But just hypothetically doing it all day, great. Yes, it does work to an extent, but eventually you're going to need the real thing.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is you're currently not dating.
No, I'm not. I just said I'm mothering. That's what I'm doing. I'm mothering.
Okay. Are you open?
Am I open to dating? I'm open. I've always been open to dating.
How open are you into dating? Because you used to have this major list that we haven't even gotten to what you like physically, like physicality. What are you attracted to? We have a couple minutes left. I don't want this to go over an hour. I kind of want to cut it. Like, I mean, physicality. What does it for Jamie?
I mean, it depends. I don't discriminate when it comes to
Oh, I know you do. I know you.
races.
I
I
know.
don't. You know,
Yeah.
Gonichiwa, mahali kita, halika dito. I don't. That's not my biggest thing. Is um how they make me feel. I like somebody who can make me laugh in general. I like laughter. I like somebody who can be comfortable in themselves. I like a bigger person. I like a smaller person. I love a taller guy. I like somebody who's my size. It all depends on how they are with me.
Got
That's
you.
what it feels like. I'm not really the
So if a
world may not, huh?
short king comes,
Short from a short king to a tall king. It depends on how we connect and how we vibing and how we're doing. That's me. I can I can find something on that person. If I can find something on that person that I'm attracted to, that's enough for me.
one thing or two? What does it have to be? Because listen,
Well,
I
I'm
have a
just saying in general. If I can find
okay.
that person attractive, then I'm fine.
Got you.
I'm fine. If it works for me, I'm good.
Okay.
So yeah, I
Okay.
don't have like, oh, he's got to be 6 foot, this
You
and
don't say that. Don't say you used to.
what?
You used to,
When?
your list used to be crazy.
When? After
Six,
the first divorce?
six figures.
When? When was
Remember,
this?
he needs to make the money. He needs to make money. Then it went to, oh, he don't have to make that much money. But it's like, then it
Well,
was,
I mean, it's like saying now I'm like, I'm not. I've never been because I am a person who takes care of everything by myself. So I know how hard it is to take care of stuff in my mind. And I know a lot of people may not agree with me. I don't want to burden my partner with having to do that. I
what
want
do you
to be able to contribute
mean? Okay.
and keep us afloat because it's stressful maintaining the stuff by yourself. I do it my own self, and I'll be like, damn, it'd be nice if I could relax. And I had that backing and that reassurance that it's a team here and
Got
we keeping this afloat, and it ain't just me. So I'm in that mind frame. So my person doesn't need to make 6, 7 figures. He doesn't need to do all that. Are we good? Can we survive? Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing?
mm-hmm.
So that's where my mind is at
Okay.
when it
You
comes to finances.
and your health situation, what was you gonna say about that? The dude, remember that? Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, no. When it comes to health, I expect my person to take care of themselves. Again, I don't need nobody in the gym like I like to be in the gym, or I don't need them to look a certain way like the Rock or Jason Momoa. None of that. I don't, but I do want that person to take care of themselves. That's my biggest thing. You can't be smoked out, leaned out. Hey, look, we too old for that. Figure it out. Like and like these are honest conversations in regards to like, yo, like, what's your medical history? Do you have schizophrenia? You have any dementia in your family? Especially at this age. We didn't even talk about that.
What
You
date
know,
does that come out?
I think that's just general conversation. To be honest,
What
as you
date? Does,
get as I don't know as far as for what date that's going to be, but I would just say like as it gets on, you're talking about each other and you're talking about getting closer, connecting. I think those kind of conversations are important
yeah.
because some people don't want to disclose that they have multiple personalities or deep depression. It's like, no, I need to know that because that's something that you need me to sign up for eventually. And I need to be able to know, hey, is this something that I can deal with?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think we've reached our hour.
Yeah. I just want to apologize for missing our last recording time.
You
I was
don't even nobody even knew that, but I just need you to
no, they
get on
did.
get
They
on
did.
board. I need you
They,
to get on board, okay?
why I can say that is because I've had people ask about the next episode already.
Yeah,
You know,
let y'all know it's Joshua's fault because Jamie be on.
no, it is. It was 100% my fault, but it
This is
just
this is one of my characteristics that rub people the wrong way. I mean,
no, it ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't mind it. It's just
yeah,
I had some stuff going on. You know what I
I,
mean?
I understand.
I had to take care of some things. You know what I
I
mean?
completely understandable. I
But
completely understand.
other than that, I would have been here. I was there in spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Again, spirit don't matter until you the real thing, sir. Spirit don't matter. That's great. Great that you was here in spirit. Awesome. Um, but this is what matters, being here in face.
No, yeah, and I'm here,
But no,
and we will shoot another one. Let's shoot for. Oh yeah, no.
we
Let's
just try
shoot.
to do at least one a week.
Yeah,
Um,
but we have to do another one this week because this week is. I would love to do one moving into the weekend, or do you
yes.
next weekend? Because I just feel like
No, we could do one moving into the week because we could do one either Thursday or Friday because the next week is spring break.
what that mean to an adult.
Uh, because I have the kids here and they might want to do things.
I thought that was coming up.
We're coming up at the end of the month, but they
Gotcha,
still have spring break away from school, which means they're here all
got you,
day in my
got you. You know I don't
face.
got no kids, so that's why
Exactly.
I'm
So
gonna.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, two different spectrums.
Okay, for sure. So yeah, thank you, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back with another episode of Harrison and Han.
Make sure you subscribe
Like,
on
share,
YouTube, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow the Instagram page. Make sure you email us. We also have a number attached to our Facebook page. If you want to leave a text or whatever, suggestion, please. We all for it, and we will see you next time. Peace out.